Okay, when you're talking about a lender doing a construction to perm loan, whether it's with USDA or not, you need to really realize what you're asking that lender to do, because they're taking a big risk on you going through with not only building, but they're taking a risk on you, your credit, your previous history of paying your bills, how much money you got down, all that stuff. Plus they're taking a risk on that builder, on that contractor, on that general contractor, whomever. Do they even have a history of completing stuff on time? Are they licensed? Are they bonded? Are they insured? Do they have all their documents and everything in a row? So when we're talking about the USDA construction to perm program, they make it sound like you can just go out and pick up any random piece of property and that the USDA will guarantee that. So you can just go pick any random piece of property, whether it has water, electricity, sewer, septic. You even have an easement to drive your car up on. No. Listen. Again, just because the guidelines say that doesn't make it real. So if you're looking at all this stuff as far as the land is concerned, you got to do that homework first. Period. That's just all there is to it. You got to do all that homework. Make sure all that stuff's in place before you even go to a lender. So let's say you do pick one of these lenders off this short list of construction to perm lenders. Let's say you go with First Signature. Like I said, they're the only ones I've seen even close anything. I saw their name on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So let's say you go with them. So what you're saying is, who's picking out this land? Are you picking out the land? Are you just going off some land you found for sale somewhere? Okay. Are you sure that, this is actually a buildable lot? Are you sure about all of that? Because, see, you can't randomly pick out a piece of land that you've seen online at happyland.com or buyland.com. Okay. And you say, oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's where I want to be. And then what you going to do? Then you go into the lender and you saying, okay, I want to do this construction of perm loan. You ain't brought them nothing. You ain't brought them nothing. Because even if we go by the guidelines, according to what USDA says, that they will buy the land and the build and combine it into one loan, you're counting on the lender's going to be just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just take any old piece of land that you found, and we're going to take any old builder that you found. No, listen, like I told y'all, the onus and the liability is on that lender. And believe me, there are so many things that say, if this goes bad on that loan and the lender didn't double check and the lender wasn't on top of it, then USDA will not pay them for that loan that went bad. There's a lot of stipulations behind the scenes that y'all don't see in this construction of perm loan. That's why so few lenders are even willing to try it. So you're going to have to find a good piece of land. And it's going to already have to have its homework done on that land. Okay? So then the next thing you've got to do, see, they're putting everything back on you. You want this, you're going to do this. Okay? So then the second thing, once you find out what all is going to be required to do this, to build a house on this land. Okay? This land, again, you don't own it. You haven't bought it. You just found a piece of land. So once you secure the water, electricity, sewage, easements, all that stuff, then you've got to go find a builder who will be approved by the lender. Again, let me say it. There's no such thing as a USDA approved builder or contractor. USDA don't do that. They make the lender do that. So what are the lender's criteria for your builder to be approved? I don't know. I'm waiting on y'all. I don't know either. See, you'd have to go to the lender and find out what they require. Because you may have Billy Bob next door to your grandmama cousin them. He's a builder. He's telling you he done built houses before, he can do it. Cool. But does Billy Bob have a license? Does Billy Bob have insurance? Does Billy Bob, does he have the capabilities to get a sufficient bond for this property, for this build? You see what I'm saying? The lender will have all kinds of stipulations that your builder, your general contractor is going to have to jump through and be approved before they'll even go that far. So is it that the lender has such high qualifications that no builder can get it done? I don't know. Y'all need to call them. This is not as simple as you think it is. And then I have so many people tell me, well, I called USDA and they said they could do it. Yeah, their guidelines do say they can do it. It does. All day long. I'm not going to argue with you on that. They do, but find somebody to do it. That's what I want you to do. Find somebody to do it. Find somebody to do all this. So you've done all this homework on the land. And you're going to have to get that land on the contract. You're going to get that land on the contract to buy. And you're going to have to wait. So that means that the owner of that land that you get under contract, that lot, whatever, they're going to have to wait to get their money until you close on that house. Okay. Now, on a normal purchase, you know what? Especially on land, I don't really deal with land, but the times I have dealt with land, my people pay cash for the land, so I didn't have a whole lot of work, because that's normally what happens with land. It's a cash deal. Okay, so you got to get the seller to agree to wait until you get all of this other paperwork and all this stuff, the builder approved and the mortgage company approved you and all of this and all of that before they even get paid. If it's some good land in a good area, they're not going to wait. They're not going to wait. That land moves. That land moves. So you got to get that land on the contract. You got to get your builder approved. Then that's all before you need to make sure your credit's straight. Because you're going to have some skin in the game. Let me clarify this right here. Again, I'm not trying to be negative. I want y'all to understand what this is. Listen, if nobody's doing this loan, there's a reason why. Because it's hard. There's a whole lot of moving parts. It's a whole lot to it. And it may not be worth it. That's what I'm getting. That's what I got from the lenders. Oh, this, girl, please. Because listen, if you're talking about a lender who normally doesn't do construction to perm, why would they take it on with USDA? If I don't do construction to perm, why would I? So I got to find. I'm gonna have to hire people who are, have experience in doing construction to perm loans. I got to hire them. I got to find them. I got to recruit them. All this stuff, and then I got to make this whole division for this construction to perm. Is it worth it? How much am I making off this loan? Because what y'all don't understand too is USDA limits lenders how much they can charge homeowners to do that loan. They limit them how much the lender can charge you to do your loan. So if I'm limited, let's just say as a lender, I can only make 2% on this loan. Okay. And let's say, just to use round numbers, it's a $200,000 loan from land to build to close. It's $200,000, right? So I'm going to do all this work. I done hired people. I got a whole little division about doing this. I had to hire somebody to vet the contractor, to vet the builder. Not only underwriting on you. See, I'm already paying an underwriter to underwrite you. But now I got to pay somebody to investigate these builders and make sure the builder that you brought, the builder that you want to use, is acceptable. Okay? So that's a whole nother different, because your underwriter's not going to do that. It's not your underwriter's job. You need to have somebody else to vet these people and see, make sure they got the insurance and all this and all that. So you've had to do that. Then you've got to have somebody, really, as the lender, you got to have somebody that's boots on the ground that can go out here to this land. This is why I tell y'all in the land video, go with a local bank or credit union, somebody who knows the area, somebody who's there. in that community, who can go out to that land, who has experience with land, and who knows what you're talking about. Because see, otherwise, you want a lender in Indiana to lend to you in Georgia on this raw land and building this house and this contract and everything, and I can't see nothing? No. So really what I need to do then is I need to drive over there and see what's going on. I need to go to Georgia. I need to pay somebody in Georgia as the lender. I need to pay somebody to oversee this and see what's going on. Do you see why ain't nobody doing this loan? I'm going to tell y'all this. When USDA rolled this out and they was talking about we're going to do this nationwide, I said, it'll never work. It'll never work. Because again, you got people in policy that's making guidelines that don't understand the logistics of what's going on. You got to have boots on the ground to do this. This is not a fly by night type thing. So now I done had to create a whole department to do this loan, and I can only get 2%. So I can only make $4,000 on a $200,000 loan. But this loan done cost me $10,000 to do. When I look at all the man hours, all the personnel hours, all the this, all the that, when I look at it, it done cost me $10,000 to make $4,000 on this loan. Do you really think them builders gonna do that? You really think them lenders? They're not in the charity business. Lenders are not a charitable organization. Let me say that. They are not going to spend all this money to make 2%. Come on, man. Listen. One reason why when you go to a local bank or a credit union and you want to buy land, you want to do a construction of perm with a local lender, what do they tell you 9 times out of 10? You need 20% down. Do you see that 20%? So 20% on that $200,000, that's $40,000. You're going to put that down because see, I got to see you got some skin in the game. I got to see that $40,000 because at least if I have to foreclose on you, this don't go well, whatever, I'm going to make some of my money back. I need to at least cover my costs. That's why they have you put money down before you even get into all that construction of perm, because there's so many moving parts and there's so many expenses to your lender. Now, we ain't even talking about you. We know you got a whole lot because you got to figure out all the water and all that good stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But the lender themselves, they look at, it's all about numbers, people. This is not complicated. The time and money I spend doing this construction of perm for you, I can do 3-4 others that are straight cookie cutter, where they done went and found the house, they under contract with the seller, I can close it in 30 days, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to make my numbers that month. Listen, remember, everything is not only about liability, it's about your production. I'm not making that much. My production numbers are going to go way down if I'm taking all my resources as a lender and put them over here in the construction and perm department. Whereas if I use those same resources to do the regular cookie cutter loans that I've been doing with USDA, and I can get 6 or 7 of them done in the same time period it takes me to do one of yours, what do you think I'm going to put that money at? This is why I say the people who make policy don't understand what it is, boots on the ground, doing this type of work every day. So just because USDA guidelines say they do a construction of perm where they'll buy the loan for you, they'll buy the land and then they put it out and they're going to build my house and all this and all that. Don't believe that hype. Find you a lender who's going to do it. Find you a lender who's going to do it and not require you to put some money in this game. Because you still over here on, it's 100% with USDA. That means USDA will guarantee 100% of that loan. But find you a lender who will do it without you putting some skin in the game. Find a lender who's going to do all this work for you on that land. Like I told y'all in that land video. Again, I'm sorry if I'm being negative. If I am interpreted as being negative, I apologize to you. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm trying to explain to you why your phone calls are not being returned on this construction of perm loan. I'm trying to explain to you why you having such a hard time finding a lender. I'm trying to explain to you why you calling USDA and you ain't getting a call back. Hello, can somebody touch it? Can I say it again? I'm not being negative. I'm telling you why you ain't getting your phone call returned. I'm telling you, I saw this program years ago. Just because so many people now, they act like USDA is a new thing. It's not. Look it up. Farmers Home Loan, been around for years. Look it up. This construction to perm, the guidelines been out there for years. Been out there for some years, and nobody's doing the program. This is why. So don't get mad at me. I'm negative. Okay. Don't get mad at the lender because they won't call you back. Everybody tell you they don't know what you're talking about. You know why? Because what looks good, what makes sense on paper to people who write policy does not necessarily make sense to people who do the loans every day. Again, my name is Rhonda Burgess, and I'm a real estate broker and mortgage underwriter here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. If you need help with buying a home here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, I would be glad to help you. You can give me a call at any time. My number is 615-554-0832. Thank you and have a blessed day.